does an age look like, you know? I mean, I don't know what an age looks like. If I look 70, I'm 70. It doesn't matter, you know. What does it look like? Hi, I'm Alice Matskin, and I'm going to be 70 in 2 months.
I'm Richard Matskin, and I'm quite a bit younger than she is.
You are not. Well, I was 55 years old. I looked at myself in the mirror with horror, and I realized that I had lines and wrinkles and sagging skin, and my breasts were dropping, and my whole body was falling apart. And right before my very eyes, I was just rotting away. And I really became freaked out about it. I became afraid. And I realized that if I wanted to live my life in a healthy way, I had to change my attitude about aging. Because dying is a normal thing, and I just needed to get into a space where I wasn't afraid. So I decided I was going to do it with painted canvas. I decided I was going to meet women 70 years and older at that time and paint them and ask them what makes life worthwhile. And this is one of the women here. Her name is Elizabeth. Now here, she does not have the normal body that most people would think is beautiful. But if you look at the expression on her face, you can just see this is a happy person. This isn't a person that's obsessed about having this body. She's just happy to be alive and happy to have a body. And she's a great model for me. And a lot of people that look at this painting, they think, well, how could she possibly have done this? How could she have possibly modeled naked for this painting? But it didn't matter to her. And I thought, far out, you know, I mean, most people with a body like this wouldn't want to be seen in public. But here she is, totally at home and comfortable with her body. Because, you know, let's face it, the body is the vehicle of transportation. It's the abode to your sense pleasures. It's the home to your mind and spirit. And to not feel good about it is just a waste of time. The painting I did of Phyllis, who had a mastectomy, was an amazing experience also. Because here she is, this woman, looking totally regal and totally beautiful, and the fact that she's missing a breast doesn't make her any less sensual or any less beautiful. And in painting her, I saw myself, that I could be Phyllis sitting there, and I saw that as a human being, I'm as vulnerable as she is. And it was very poignant to paint her. And also, I felt very grateful at that time, too, that I wasn't her, that I didn't have a mastectomy or cancer in my breast. And I got to know her, and she just was very accepting of her body, and she was very accepting of her dying. In fact, most of the women in the book are no longer with us. And that makes it even more poignant, because you realize here they were, these lively, beautiful, vibrant women, and now they're gone. So now they're in a book, and their spirit and their beauty will live on for as long as the book lives on, and for as long as the paintings live on. And it's been a real pleasure for me to meet them. After I did this series, I felt much more at home in my body. Like, it really didn't matter. Really, I was just happy to have a body, happy to be alive. And you know, if my breasts are falling and if my stomach is sticking out, well, so what? It is what it is.
My path was very different. We were both working on the issues of aging, but I approached it from a different angle. Alice was looking for the positive parts of aging. I was looking at the negative parts. I was afraid also, and I wanted to really get into my fear. And I did that by sculpting a group of old men that captured the parts that scared me the most. And I felt that if I looked at it straight in the face, somehow I could get through it. I think my fears of death and being disabled in old age are not mine alone. I think it's something that everybody shares. Because old age is about loss. Loss of looks, loss of all these abilities that you spent all your life being proud of and developing, and gradually losing. And so what I've tried to do is find the positives in those losses. Many of the sculptures are really direct depictions of fear. One sculpture that really captures my fears of death is called The Struggle, where an older man is trying to push a skeleton away from him. And that graphically shows my fear. The sculptures that I did of Lovers, the Lovers series, is really in clay the feelings that Alice and I have for each other. Those sculptures were Alice and I, even though they didn't look like us. But it's the love that we shared. And what's unusual is that it's the older bodies, older faces. People feel that, you know, when you get older, the expression of love and sensual expression, it doesn't belong to the older people. I guess it's supposed to stop when you get to be middle-aged or something. It's not true. Everyone has desire to be held and desire to touch and give and receive pleasure. And that's one of the reasons I did these sculptures, is to demonstrate that. Our own aging has deepened our love for each other, although I don't know how it can get deeper. But as we get older, it becomes more precious. Our life becomes more precious. And so our time together becomes more precious. I know that's the way you feel too.
Yeah, I know. I feel exactly the same way about that. Because you never know.
We took a vow. We like to get married again.
To each other.
Yeah.
We've done it 5 times.
The last time we took a vow, it was very meaningful for us, because the vow we took was, may we always remember that this may be the last day that we'll be together.